This is for Samia, our martial arts teacher here. She's studied every martial art in the world, and she teaches the children here Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and she's very lovely, and she's here this morning, and my buddy Tim, and Rob and Greg. And now and then we have different people come in, and I'll mention that so-and-so is my mentor, my Susan is my mentor, or partner in the work. She put together this book called After Time, about everything we'll discuss today. It's not your regular off-the-shelf spirituality, it's something more resonant with the deepest parts of our heart and soul. Something truly spiritual and godlike. Something truly eternal. And not just a wistful moment at night, or a heartthrob, or a caring touch, but an eternal, perfect awareness of that which the wise have often called God, which is a state of such utter and utmost grace and openness and purity that people really don't know what that means. In Leviticus, in the Bible, it says, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your might. And on another place it says, to love your neighbor as yourself. And then St. Paul said that the Bible cannot be, that it's written in a mystery. The mystery is you have to be spiritual. You have to have this illumined experience, and you see through everything and anything. It's that state of Buddhahood where right now I'm there, it's just always there, it's just not, everything's a mist, dreamlike quality, a simplicity, of purity, something eternal. And no matter what happens throughout the day and night, no matter how good, bad, or in between it is, you're in the mist. Doesn't mean that your life is a joy, it's not, it's a war. Every day of my life, despite this presence, except in different times when I've afforded myself the capacity to move off to the woods for a year or two and live and be completely happy. Every day there's madness, there's attempts at my life, there are subtle points of evil. I'm trying to have two people get together, run this business, have everyone work for one another, and everyone has a secret little thing, and despite all the tools that I've worked on of non-evaluative therapy, of listening to people and letting them let go of their woulds and shoulds and coulds, it doesn't matter. Right now there's construction going on with the Century 20 Operas, with big busy gym around us, and no matter what, you're in this state. And at some point you'll come to a final conclusion about it. And it's not about you. It's not about the individual being spiritual, being close to God. It's about looking around about you, as my friend Dob was questioning about, and seeing at a certain point. In my 20s, I never had a human thought. Everything was a vision, and I got just endless amounts accomplished. Did an awful lot of good, you could say. And at a point you realize, because you're in this mist-like state, that there are billions of people here. There's such and such tragedy in this continent, and neighbors in jail, or whatever, and things are rotten in Denmark. You know what I'm saying? There are other people, other places, other times. There's a future to this. How's it going to end? How's it going to transpire? How do you help whoever? So when it says love your neighbor as you love yourself, it means you're in this state. It's a spiritual concept. It's not love and be like you. If you're in this spiritual state, it doesn't mean go help someone with plow the snow or fix the car. It means to help them rise to this condition. Purity, simplicity, and divinity. It's a godlike awareness. It is a God awareness. There is such a place beyond time or circumstance or thought, and you'll be tried and tested with every thought, with every circumstance, with every person. You'll go through not just physical violence, but violence of the mind that you're treated with around the clock. Someone like Samaya, she is all grace, and yet I'm sure her life is just like ours. Just things hit you on every level, and the more spiritual you are, and I can attest to this, the more you're hit endlessly all day. So at a point you're aware of all these billions of other people, and so you determine within you to end it. End the whole thing. And it ends in your consciousness, in my consciousness, in our consciousness. You toughen up. It's our own neighborhood we're protecting. At a point, God Himself, this infinite pure presence, and the closer and closer you get to God, the more pure, the more humble, the more kind and generous and inspirational in a cosmic sense God becomes. You'll find God looking out from your eyes. And we began this where there's a difference in this kind of spirituality. It's not about you becoming illumined, enlightened. It's about you ending this whole charade as though there is something separate from God. And if you're spiritual, you're in a cosmic awareness, and so you understand how lost everyone in this world is, and it's not everyone in the world, the whole thing is it's like kabuki theater. It's, Plato said it, called it was the shadows on the wall. In other words, what seems to be is not what's there. It's the causal factor of either good or evil behind it. And if you look Satan in the eye, he'll flee from you. And it's not from being tough or fearless, it's just from being aware of divinity and of the divinity of all the good people in the world. Some are not so good, but we don't even worry about that. When you come to a final stage, a final conclusion about spirituality, your mind itself, your heart, your consciousness will end it for all human beings. That's spirituality. That's you. That's why you exist. That's why we are here, to quietly look at it and close it down. It's the final showing. And then we're going to close this thing down and move to an outdoor theater. Where there's only sunshine. Forever. You are a spiritual being. We are spiritual presences. When the Buddha said you will visit the house of your illusion no more, what is meant is that this whole thing will end. It's wonderful to come closer to God and realizing that it's God looking out from your eyes. And again, that you don't have to take it anymore. So spirituality is ending the whole thing. And you'll figure out how to do it. In Susan's book, my name, Robert Rosenberg, it's After Time, an unusual title. It's from, I guess, Revelation 10. Another book, Island of Hearts, this YouTube. I, years ago, wrote these books and put them aside because I knew I'd be doing them around this time in my life. So it has all these little details around the clock. You have a friend with you that you'll understand every conceivable possibility in this world and every circumstance, and it conveys it and covers it in a very poetic, simple, human way, and quite beautiful actually. And so you won't have any questions about why this or why that of the world around you. It'll be expressed and explained and saying, it's not this, it's not that, you can let that go. It's not about our society or our world. There is no society or world when you allow that is. Predominance in your thought, your heart, your emotion. You'll be very clear, very powerful. You just step away from everything, and it will recede from your consciousness. You'll become God on your feet. And you'll know you'll have the stamina, the capacity, and the availability of all these gifts to change, transform, heal, correct, redirect, combat anything and everything. Your mind will attain to a pure state. If you talk to God, God will talk to you. You'll become what God is. You'll love your neighbor like as yourself because you will understand that they're not the lost presence that they appear to be. So you can embrace those that are lost but are good. And they'll transform at your first touch. These are not just words. So it's not about us as an individual becoming more spiritual or religious or effective as a loving being. It matters that we transform to a higher awareness. You'll feel lighter than air, kinder than the soft morning dew. It's just a sweetness. And you'll be tempted every day. I'm tempted every day of my life in the most horrible ways, and it's interesting, and I can't tell my best friends how silly they're being. Let it go. Let down all the defenses. You don't need them. You're made of light. You're made of your spirit, your soul, essence. It's very misty, this experience. And you can see the distant universes, different spiritual universes, not the cosmos, or not like the smallest, we mentioned last week, the smaller, more powerful the microscope or the telescope is. You'll keep seeing other stuff, but it's part of the, isn't that interesting? It's when spirituality isn't interesting, it just is. If it's fascinating, it's the devil. It just is. It's you. So just be. Just breathe. And then let that go. Just be aware. And then let that go. There's nothing to have or hold on to. There's nothing to want. Nothing to need, nothing to care about. You're not going to help anyone by caring for them, by feeling bad for them. If you're there as a healing presence, be there as a healing presence. No more in your consciousness. An example is, I mentioned my mom had really bad experiences before she passed, and I visited in Philadelphia, Marlena's upstairs room there, my mom there, and true saint and gracious. I don't say this because she's my mom, but everyone everywhere felt that way about her. True healer, and she was in really bad shape, and I was reacting. I went up to sit with the bedroom and on a Sunday afternoon at noon, and it was hard to handle because she's my mom, and she's so wonderful, and so I realized I talked to people every day, and combat veterans at the time and so forth that were very. I could be there quiet no matter what happens. And we'd test each other, some friends of mine, in those grotesque ways, and so they were completely quiet and aware of it. So we let the other vets talk out what's wrong, because my friend doctor, he called it the VA. The doctors there, they said they had failed help syndrome. They didn't have the tools, so they blamed the veterans or put them on drugs because they couldn't simply be quietly there and listen to them. They reacted to them. If you don't react to anyone, going through anything, they'll feel free to express their pain, and as soon as it's acknowledged on any level, whatever it is, they'll feel well. You never bring it up again, you never talk about it. It just is. Underneath it all, we're the same person. It's the person of God. And that's what we're discussing. Don't give anything of this world parking space in your head, and you will feel so beautiful, so good, so true, so real. It's more powerful than anyone could dream. To be here, to be you at this time, and we waken one another up from this sleep and dream no more. There is a God. You are his voice, his heart, and his soul. Let go of all else, and you'll be free. Free your mind, the rest will follow. Train yourself to not react. Like with Samaya, her martial arts meditation, or Master G here, Gregor Skolton's martial arts, it's just, there's always a form of meditation involved with it, and just be very quiet, not react, and then your movements become like lightning, soft and clear, very, very gracious. We're talking about the movements of the mind and the heart and the soul. They'll blend into a stillness, a quietude. Be still. This is not complicated. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to run out and learn. Just be directly aware of God. There's no more to it. Just be directly aware of God, in communication with God. The main thing is to know that the world is it's a nightmare. It has nothing to do with God. So you step beyond religion into spirituality, into the eternal presence. Quiet your mind, your heart, your soul. Don't worry about anything. You live in a place beyond compassion or care. You'll live in eternity, and that will heal everything and everyone. And don't take anything on face value. Nothing is here. It's all the illusion. Someone's here to make you worry or concerned or fix this or fix that. I get that from the people around me all day, every day. Well, these people I know are going through some hard time now, and you're in the middle of it, in my case, and there's nothing I can do or say. And then they'll think, well, you think about this or that when I don't have an opinion. I do the best I can, given the fact that I'm the only one completely quiet. So, be completely quiet. And you just wake up one day, it's like, this won't be here. And once you learn to do it for yourself, you'll move through your environment, and none of this will be here for anyone. It's in the air. You are in the air. You're a spiritual presence. Do your duty, and I'll do mine. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Thank you, Craig.